Hey guys, so this video will document two things. The first one is what it's like to receive a Top Oak rooftop tent, and the second one is on how to install it on a Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. So first and foremost, as you see, I have a camper shell on my Jeep. This is ARE CX model. Very unfortunately, this is not a CX HD model. Had it been HD, I wouldn't have to go through the whole rigor mortis of the process. So HD stands for basically reinforced, and the way that works, and it's functionally the same camper shell. The only difference is that HD model has reinforcements all over the place in allegedly aluminum cage that's embedded somehow into the camper shell. The CX model naturally doesn't have that, and so they say that the original rating for this is about 150 pounds or so. So historically, I've been able to carry 2 kayaks from Walmart on either side of this. That's why we have this. And I also have my little storage box over there. This particular model has wind doors, as they're called. So on both sides they open up, which is what drew me to it. And of course additional storage there. So today, hopefully within the next couple of hours, I am to receive a rooftop tent from a company called Top Oak. And it's gonna start a process. Now, the reason why I started by talking about camper shell is this one is not reinforced. So there's a company in Australia called Milford that makes reinforcements for your roof, for your camper shells. The problem is good luck trying to order. So I've ordered through a vendor. I think they're called Ocam 4x4, and despite what it says on the website, it being in stock, it's not in stock, and so I've been in holding pattern. But the way that works is, if you notice, there's like C-clamps on the camper shells. Those should be fairly familiar to anybody who's ever had a camper shell. The other doohickey that's coming from Australia, allegedly, it looks exactly like that. It clamps exactly in the same way. But then it has arms that go all the way to the top, and then you drill holes through your ceiling, and it provides reinforcement attachment points. So basically you have like a kind of sort of like a roll cage, and there's 4 of them. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then all of that is gone, and the rooftop tent is installed on this. I'm also going to cover how I am going to install the tent. That's going to be a thing in itself. But to get it from the truck into my temporary storage, because I'm not doing it quite yet, I'm gonna put it on the trailer when they deliver it, and I'm gonna take this trailer and park it elsewhere on my property. So to help me get it to and from, as I'm awaiting delivery, I have my dollies. I have 4 of them. The intent is to put the tent on all 4s, and then I have straps over here, and then I also have this ratchet winch thing. So the goal is, assuming that the tent is standing there on concrete, I'm gonna be able to wheel it on the ramp onto here. That sucker is 200 or so pounds. probably even heavier because it comes in a wooden box. So you'll see some of it once I get to it. That's kind of my preparation. I've been in holding pattern that was supposed to be here between 1 and 5. It's already close to 2. Speaking of that, what I wanted to cover is their tracking system is absolutely horrible. Nothing to do with Top Oak specifically, but the actual website. You could mark in there to let you get notified of updates, and nothing ever happens. And then all of a sudden, there it is, kind of thing. So if you punch in the number in the tracking website, it allows you to catch up to something that has already happened in the past. Like it's not a sort of like a live tracking like you would expect with Amazon, UPS, FedEx, etc. So, and I'll share that in a screenshot in the video so that you understand where I'm getting at. So I physically had to call the trucking company and schedule an actual appointment. The day of their estimated delivery, they have not delivered, which is the reason why I called. So it's been delivered 2 days late, and this is a very important thing. There's a little blurb in there that says that they are going to charge you storage fees for them not delivering it to your house. So be very careful and be on top of the whole process. So follow your delivery, see when it gets to the distribution center, and immediately jump on it. There was a dent in the box, but thankfully I don't see damage, because that over there would have been like here some.
Yeah, it looks like packaging pretty good.
Yeah, and that's why I ordered this specific one, because it comes in a fancy box and everything. Okay, I think we're good.
Good? Alright. Shit, I
Alright, so here's some notes about the delivery. No damage to the tent that I could see. This hood, this lid is actually cattywampus. It's supposed to be twisted the other way, but whatever. So there was a dent in the box here. Mercifully, the way it's packaged, it was perfectly fine. It didn't, so like that is actually there. For those wondering, there are some zip ties like this. The guy was very anxious to leave. So he said that he was on some sort of time crunch. So good thing that I had tools and means and everything like that. So what I ended up using instead of breaker barks and everything like that, actually this over here. And what I've done was I unscrewed every single latch from the top of the box. And in the video you'll see how once you remove this, there's a sheet of polystyrene, a whole bunch of bubble wrap and everything like that. So this thing is actually packaged very well. I'm very glad that I went with this company specifically because I've heard horror stories and whatever. One thing that I found really bizarre is they clearly ship it vertically for space reasons, as you might imagine, but it's super duper wobbly. So in the videos you'll see how he set it against the back of the truck and then had to use his little mover dolly thing, and then several of us had to hold it and everything like that. So just be careful about the fact that once you get to the actual point of delivery, there might be some additional drama associated. But nonetheless, I was able to unscrew everything and lift the lid and inspect it for damage. So the box, despite the fact that this is plywood, this isn't the kind of plywood that whatchamacallit, like strong wood. For example, if you see this is probably a 1/2 inch plywood, maybe 3/4, somewhere there, 17, 16, whatever it's called. I don't know, this whole system of plywood, but let's call it 1/2 inch. The pieces in between that are very thin, as you can see, and they're glued together. So this over here, if you notice, it's not actually very thick. So in terms of shipping it, I wish it would have actually come with proper plywood, but whatever. So my next goal is to put some straps on it, put it on the back of the trailer, and wheel it out of here. Alright, so for those wondering, this is a 5.5 by 10 trailer from Tractor Supply. I took a measurement of this box. It's about 5 foot. Including the blocks, it's about 5.5 feet. So I think it was 5'6", 5'4", 5'5". That's why it was wobbly, because the blocks are not even. So the blocks are adhered to the box from the inside using 3 nails, and also from the outside using 2. So I just used a hammer, a couple of smaller crowbars. I buttoned down the hatches because I'm not going to be installing this quite yet. So my goal is to just move it. Now theoretically I could have put it on the trailer as it was, but I didn't want to get stuck. So erring on the side of caution, I just took off the blocks. So, and I was, careful to the best of my ability. And the next goal is to lower the gate, take my ratchet strap, and wheel it that way. Alright, well, you know what they say, go big or go home, right? So here's what I did. By the way, I am not beyond using easy methods of doing things. I value my health far too much. So what I've done is, obviously, I have dollies as discussed. I've used ratchet straps to go around, so that's where you see the orange ones. And then I have a 20-footer kind of looped around this way, and also crisscrossed and then looped that way. And then I have one of those Harbor Freight tools, ratchets, adhere to this, and the goal is to hopefully get it in there. So just generally speaking, based on the ticket number from the shipping company, this is about built at 300, I think, and 10 pounds or so, plus all the other hoop-de-doo. So at most there's maybe like 350 pounds. I don't know if it actually weighs that much, but nonetheless, that is actually rated for, I think, 1,300 pounds or something like that. So this is way beyond the capacity, or way under the capacity rather. So my goal is to orient it more or less straight to wheel it in there, and then just slowly crank it and get it into place. Alright, so somewhat of a progress. Getting it on here is actually quite easy because I'm using a winch. The only kind of hold up to this point is the way I strapped it is slightly off to the side, so this constantly wants to do this number over here. So I have a couple of 2x4s and I'm just directing traffic. As you see, actually probably a good thing that I've taken the blocks off, because if you look, there's I don't know. Eventually I think what I'll do is I'll actually lift the tent out of the box once I get to it. I mean, either way I'm gonna have to do that using a different kind of winch. But so far this method is actually working quite well. Good thing I strapped everything, so it's actually very easy. Alright, so here we are, continuing with the progress. By the way, for whatever this is, with a coupon, I think it was like 29 bucks, less a 25% coupon from Harbor Freight. This thing is worth its weight in gold, honestly. Mounts right on the tongue. Don't need a fancy electric winch, don't need to fiddle part with anything. So, so far it's going smooth. Between the dollies and everything like that and the 2x4s, I got it situated on the trailer. Just need to winch it the full way, as you see. So this is the reason why I removed the blocks. There's just a couple of inches to spare on either side. I didn't want to get to this point and then get stuck. Alright, and it is there on fully. So to get you an idea, this is a 5.5 by 10 trailer. The box in itself is, minus the blocks, is about 5 feet. So good thing I took the blocks off, because I have my spare tires and they would have a nonetheless, here we are. Now the tent itself is slightly smaller, obviously, but it's a big one. On pictures from, you know, the internet and everything, it looks smaller than it actually is. If this is a 10-foot trailer, the box itself, this is probably 1.5 feet over here, and that's probably another foot or so. So it's probably about 8 feet or more or less. The actual box, that is. I'm sure somebody is going to ask, so I will actually measure it properly. Alright, so I just measured the blocks that this was perched on top of. They are 3.5 inches tall, so they add 3.5 inches to this dimension of the box. So the box from the very bottom, in terms of its thickness, is just a smidge over 10 inches thick. Yeah, I would say like 10 and a half-ish, kind of, sort of. Now, this over here, (89 inches) long this way, 89. And then this way is 61. I'm just gonna round up, 61 and a half. It's actually a little bit less, but 61 and a half, and you would have to add 3.5 inches to it. So this would be what, 62, 65 inches tall. So in case you need to get it in somewhere, this would be with the blocks that it came on, 65 by 89 by about 10 and a half. And the build weight, at least based on what they said, was 310 pounds or so. So there's a documentation, I'm guessing, of sorts. I have no idea what's inside those. I'm guessing this is probably for shipping, bill of lading. So let's see what it says. Yes. See how over there it says, come on phone, focus, 310 pounds right there. So that's what this is. And its dimensions are actually slightly different here. It's 91 and not 89. 10 and not 10 and a half. So, and it's listed at 63, which is wrong, as we've established. It's 65. So let's see what's over here. I'm guessing this is oh, that's the insurance. That's what that is. It's talking about what this is listed at and what it's insured as. In case you're wondering, this is insured to the sum of $1,500 right there. So now the goal is to get it from here to where it needs to be, and then at some point down the road I'm gonna be actually installing the darn thing, but not before I get my equipment. If things go completely south, it is entirely possible that I may have to get a completely different arrangement here in the back. My options are either a different cap, which would be madly expensive because I really like this one and it's already paid off and I don't have to. The other option is to cut into this one, theoretically speaking, and I'm gonna walk over there in a minute. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to install one of those Harbor Freight racks, but that I'd have to, because there's a bit of a, like that over there, so I'd have to cut a chunk out for the bars that you could buy at the Harbor Freight, and they go bow and then bow. The other option is to get rid of a cap entirely, but like I love this thing to death, so I'm really hoping that the company from Australia get its crap together. And so in case you're wondering why I love it so much, up here in the back, mind you, the dimensions of the bed are different to my Tacoma and my other Tacoma that I had historically. So I could fit 7 Harbor Freight Tools jerry cans here, and I believe like 6, because I have to sit them further, or 7 Walmart water jugs here. And if you watch my videos from my trip to Colorado and Utah, you'll understand why that is. And also in the back over there, there's going to be probably at some point a fridge. I have 2 12-volt fridges, I've taken one of them to in my motorhome to Utah and Colorado. It looks like I'm gonna be using them at home. So theoretically speaking, I could put an IceCo 75 liter over there if the dimensions allow. So the reason why I love this cab specifically is because it has on both sides windows that actually open up, and you could reach anything here. And in case you're wondering what this is over here, this was my do-it-yourself bed. Since I've never actually used it for reasons of using it as a bed. It's a Walmart 6-foot tables cut to size. I've always used it to hold things on top and on the bottom to separate them out. So theoretically speaking, I could still arrange something. I don't know. But in any event, as I was mentioning previously, this here isn't meant to support the weight of the rooftop tent. So there's going to have to be some reinforcements, which is going to have to rely on some people from literally the other side of the planet, down under. Yeah. And all because I bought the wrong ARE top. So if you're in a market for a camper shell, by the way, the reason why I bought the wrong one is because at the time they didn't create it yet. Had I known, it would be a different story. But if you're looking to buy a camper shell that supposedly holds the weight of a tent, buy ARE CX-HD for Jeep Gladiator. And anyways, but here we are. Oh gosh, I start sounding like Sean from Trailmeter, because he uses that phrase all the time. This is being transported to the back. It's been a nice couple of hours messing around with it. Still have all my fingers and toes. So now I just need to get it to the back of the property, cover it, and show you what I'm gonna do about the lifting mechanism, because I am in no position, because of my injuries, to lift anything really that I don't have to lift. I have my limits. I very much appreciate what health I still have left. So there's going to be this coming off, things going to be installed, and I'm going to include them in this video as well. And then the tent is going to be lifted out of this, dangled in the air. The truck is driving underneath of it, and then it's going to be lowered.